Hello, everybody, and welcome to the East Region East Circuit card of Retro Championship Wrestling. Big Paulie coming to you, your commentator for these next 9 bouts in the East Region. And remember, we have changed things around. Well, I know I do this frequently, but it just keeps things fresh for me. And every bout is basically a portion of a large tournament. And for the next 6 weeks, starting with this week, week 16 to week 21, all of the competitors will have a 6-match contract. If you end up with a 3-3 record or better, or some combination where you win as many as you lose, you stay on. But if you do not win the number of matches needed, you are blacklisted, and we go through the rotation until we go through everybody. And if we are short at any length of time, then we will put new wrestlers in and have them get a 6-match contract. But we will start with the tag division for our next 4 bouts, and we start with the former Southern Tag Champs, Bob Orton Sr. and Eddie Graham, sometimes friends, sometimes enemies. They're taking on the Tolis Brothers in a 1-fall, 30-minute time limit bout. We only have 1 title bout for you today. That'll be the Eastern Tag Title bout between the Blackjacks and Rey Bucanero and Ultimo Guerrero, which could be an eliminator to decide who gets a title shot at the World Tag Team Champions next week. If there is a winner, if there is a non-winner, if there is a drawn result, draw, double count out, double DQ, then another bout down the line could decide who gets the world title shot. But let's get our first bout underway. I believe these 2 teams have met. No, I am incorrect on that assessment. The Tolos brothers are looking for their first win, whereas Bob Orton Sr. and Eddie Graham have gone 4 matches without a loss since being dethroned by the 4 horsemen of Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard. And they lost on a blood stoppage, which was an early rule we had here in RCW that has since been removed. And on we go. To make it simpler, what each team or each single has to do is gain 6 points. Any draw gains you 1 point, any win gains you 2. And at the end of 6 weeks, if you have the prerequisite 6 points, then you will stay on and get another 6-week contract. But if you lose, you're going to have to wait until we go through everybody who has already had a match. And in some instances, bring in new talent. Pin attempt here by the Tolos brothers is no good. It's about even at the 8-minute mark. Tolos brothers had a world title shot against the Rock and Roll Express, which they lost by pin in their second to last meeting, and then they got a draw with the Holy Demon Army, time limit draw, which I believe we did here on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims Hughes channel. Now Orton Sr. and Graham have opened up a lead, but there was a cut, and the cut was on Eddie Graham, and he was known for his capacity to bleed in the Florida circuit. Of course, he was also part of the Golden Grahams in the Northeast that were, well, they really didn't have World Tag Team champions back then, although I think at one point they were billed as the World's Tag Team champions of the Northeast. As the Tolos. Eddie was also known at one point as Rip Rogers before the more modern moniker of Rip Rogers was used. And another cut, we won't even mention that because there's just a little nick on the gash that Graham already has, we'll say. Oh, and the Toloses are cut. And that's going to be John Tolos who's busted open. And another rule we have is that, as I mentioned, Eddie Graham was also part of the tag team with Dr. Jerry Graham, but only one team can have a specific member in there. So that's why you'll see Pat Patterson and Ray Stevens teaming, but not Ray Stevens and Nick Bockwinkel, because Bockwinkel first is the world champion, and they were also the former world tag team champions. But they cannot be used in with the 6-week contract system because Nick Bockwinkel's the world champion. What if he gets hurt in the bout? So we're winding down with this. The Tolos brothers have a lead of some 180 some points. They are leading in pin attempts. But can Orton Sr. and Graham get to the bell and get a 30-minute draw out of this? Looking like it, yes. So I am just typing up what will be on the Delphi boards. Four stars, a good bout. And very shortly we will be on to our second bout. Actually, I'm gonna take a brief stopping of the tape here because I had coffee going. And this is a point in the day where I usually get initially tired at about 1:45 in the afternoon. So let me just get my coffee set up and I will be right back. Our second bout in the ring now, it is the Scott brothers, the former Flying Scots, the former Eastern Tag Team Champions, battling the Holy Demon Army, who are also former Eastern Tag Team Champions. Toshiaki Kawada, Kira Taue. Kawada and Taue won the belts in a battle royal after the Rock and Roll Express, who were another old rule that is no longer applicable. They were simultaneously the World Tag Team and the Eastern Tag Team title holders. But we dropped that and had the Eastern Tag title decided by the Battle Royal. Holy Demon Army won it. And then they lost to the Briscoe brothers, who are not in this tournament, but I'm sure they will be in our next 6-week cycle. Choten beat the Flying Scots to win the Northern Tag belts. They were former Northern Tag champs, each team. I think I said East by mistake. So this is the second of our 4 tag team bouts, and this ends quickly. A knee to the midsection must have caught George Scott in a bad way because the Holy Demon Army win by pin in just 2:26. So they will pick up the 2 points. Or I don't know how many of you my age remember the game Karate Champ, and the sensei would say full point. Well, they get full points for the win here. As Kawada pins George Scott. After knee to the midsection. So I am typing this up. Okay, another bout of note coming up. The Dusick Riot Squad, who I remember correctly have a pretty good record, but they have not won any championships yet in RCW. They will be taking on the Medics, who were also known as the Interns at one point. I guess you graduate from being an intern to a medic. The Masked Medics, heel versus heel team bout. The Dusicks are 3-2 as my phone is going off again. And the Medics are 0-1-3. And I'm going to have to pause for a moment. Stand by. Okay, folks, sorry about that. It's one of those text messages you have to actually participate in. So we are now ready for our third bout. We'll just pick up where we left off. The Medics have yet to win. They have lost once, drawn 3 times. Whereas the Dusicks are 3-2. I think the lion's share of their wins, 2 of their wins came against the Briscoes and the other against the High Flyers. Oh, and a laceration on one of the masked men. It is Jim Star, but we'll call him Medic number 2. And I forgot to waive the cut rule. I wish there was a way to make your specifications, your options stick from card to card, but not the case. Maybe there'll be a Wrestling's Finest 4. It's a great game. Probably the best, wrestling game out there. I would put it in the same league as Legends of Wrestling. If $1 million fell on my head, and after I improved my housing situation, I would probably want to get Legends of Wrestling because I think that would be a fun little thing to do. Oh, and we have a foreign object used, and it was Ernie Dusick using it to pin the Medics. Pin Medic number, we will say 2. The lacerated Medic. So the pin there at 11:09. Not media, Medic 2. Why did I say media for? And I can't spell worth a crap right now. Okay, Wild Samoans against Antonio Inoki and Tatsui Fujinami. It'll be our next bout here and our last tag bout of the evening, and then we will take another pause, do the tabulations on the tag matches. So the Dusicks won, the Holy Demons won. And we had a draw between Bob Orton Jr., Eddie Graham, and the Tolos brothers. Samoans held a win over Mr. Wrestling's 1 and 2, who were title contenders for a while. And Inoki and Fujinami have not seen a lot of tag team action, but they have yet to lose in 2 bouts. So we'll play this bout out. Noki and Fujinami. Oh, it's about even at the quarter pole, 7 minutes into the bout. And now the Samoans have opened up a lead of some significance. You're looking at me in the yellow ABC Sports Blazer. Yeah, Google Gemini, which I use as my AI outlet, made that for me. There's another one where I'm chatting with Howard Cosell. Oh, and we have a count out. It just totally escaped me there for a few moments, folks. My apologies. The Japanese duo winning the skirmish outside the ring, so they will get full points, even though it was a count out. And it'll be a reduced win in the rankings. At 11:51. So this was a win for Inoki and Fujinami. I will type up this result. I'll run some totals, and I'll be back for our singles bouts right after this, which will be almost immediately for most of you. So let me show you the updated records in our tag contender grid. We have a few more 2s, 1s, and 0s in there now. But I did not remember to put in Bob Orton Sr. Eddie Graham. Yeah, I forgot to do that, but we'll do that live. And that is now updated. So we have several spots to fill in this first column, first week column. So the Masked Assassins won. So if the Eastern tag title bout between Rey Bucanero, Ultimo, Guerrero, and the Blackjacks goes to a draw, the Masked Assassins would get the next shot at whoever holds the world tag team titles between the Rock and Roll Express and the Kalmakoffs. So you have that to look forward to. And we will start our singles bouts. We have 3 of them. Murcielago Velasquez is the former Eastern champion, and he gets Nobuhiko Takada. Velasquez has been a bit of a giant killer. He's beaten Roland Bach. He's beaten Pat O'Connor. He beat Lex Luger in a series of bouts in the South region. And Takada's only bout was a loss to Randy Savage. But his sample size was high enough for him to get into our 50-man contenders grid. So actually we have 4 singles bouts for you right now on RCW in the next few minutes. Did I turn my recorder on? I did. Good. Always got to double check when you have one monitor. La swastika. That's what it says. I don't make these things up. Oh, and I forgot to set Takada to the computer ranking. We're just going to play it as it lays. Legal pin attempt by Takada. Well, why not cheat? Velasquez is going to cheat. But I am waiting for Velasquez to use his strategy card so I could use mine at the end. And right now it's about a dead even bout, about a third of the way through. Clothesline by Velasquez does not get the pin. Okay, it's even, so after a successful hold, use the outside the ring chart is what we will do. Oh, I heard a thump. It's been one of those days at the campground where you never know what's going to happen, and it does. I'm right by a rather busy county road. Bout still about even. Yeah, legal pin attempt. He's going to try illegal pin attempts. Why shouldn't I? Oh, and Takada was pinned. Takada just ran out of gas after an Irish whip. So Velasquez, your winner. Murcielago Velasquez by pin at 1913. 190. Sounds like a basketball score. Stanley Cup game is tonight. First game of the Stanley Cup series. Vegas Golden Knights, who everybody hates outside of Vegas, taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. So best wishes to Sean McDonough, whose work I have always liked, and crew of calling the Stanley Cup. We'll say Takada was injured during the Irish whip. I've seen it happen. I saw it happen to Ric Flair at the Battle of the Belts with Barry Windham in 1986. I was supposed to have made Inoki Fujinami that tag team ill. Sometimes I miss these things, but I just play it where it lays. So there you go. Velasquez a third of his way to the 6 points he needs. Interesting bout coming up because both these guys are baby faces now. Dusty Rhodes and Jerry Lawler. But they drew each other, and this was a bout that was supposed to have happened in the East Circuit several weeks ago, because Lawler was healing in the East, kind of mimicking British royalty a little bit. So this will be babyface versus babyface, but both these guys will probably pull out all the stops because they're former heels. Dusty, this is the first bout since he lost 2 in a row. He lost to Buddy Rogers for the Brass Knucks title, and then he got the idea that he could beat Andre the Giant. Not so much. Lawler as a babyface is 2-1. He had several bouts as a heel, which I'm not remembering right now. His record. Beat Tommy Rich in his last outing. Lost the title. He was the former Northern champ. Lost to Harley Race. Beat Magnum TA for the belt. So off we go. This should be a wild and woolly one. First bout in the six bout contract for each man. We'll have some big names in the second 6-week cycle. Some just missing the cut, like Carlos Colon, Magnum TA, Ricky Steamboat. Oh, and Rhodes is cut. And you knew that was going to happen in this kind of bout. If you've ever watched anything that Jerry Lawler has said about Dusty Rhodes, they're not exactly bosom buddies. So right now, it's about even 6 minutes in. And we'll see if that cut gives Lawler the edge. Full body slam. He got Dusty up with a body slam. Huh. Oh, and Lawler is cut. You knew it was going to be that kind of fight, even though these guys are both baby faces. So on we go. Now Dusty has a huge lead. And there's an injury to Lawler that will not be known about. Bionic elbow. Could this be it already? It is. Dusty with a huge win over Jerry Lawler. That'll get him back on track. He is 8-2-3 with that win. So Dusty will stay a top contender for all kinds of championships. And we will move on now to what could be the match that decides who faces Nick Bockwinkel next. And we talked about this earlier. You got the Dynamite Kid who went to, I think, a double countout or a double DQ with Lou Thesz, getting a crack at Boris Malenko, who has had a handful of matches but has a good record in them. And after that bout, we will take another break and get. Well, actually, no, we have one more bout to go before we take the break and set up our title match. Malenko scored a big win over Jim Lundos in his RCW debut, and Kidd won a pinfall verdict over Rollerball Rocco. They have both faced Lou Thesz, and they both went to draws with Lou Thesz, double DQ for Malenko, a double countout for the Dynamite Kid. So off we go, and like I said, if we have a winner here, they will get Nick Bockwinkel next week. In the East, Russian clutch, a specialty move, a submission move. That's not too early for that. Malenko is off to a very good start. Another Russian clutch, but the submissions are not going to work this early. Pin try after a flying forearm by Dynamite Kid. Another sweltering day here where I'm recording this in Central Florida. Had a bunch of rain yesterday. Oh, lariat! And we have a DQ for outside interference. So Malenko's it was Davey Boy Smith interfering. Kid's kind of incredulous that Davey Boy would interfere. They're looking at each other kind of oddly. But it's going to be Boris Malenko and Nick Bockwinkel next week for the world's title. Not a great bout at all. A .5, which is the worst rating a bout can get. So, so we know now Boris Malenko will get the title shot with Nick Bockwinkel next week in the East region. And now on to a non-title bout, as Danny Hodge is the junior heavyweight title, but Mr. Wrestling 2 is not a junior heavyweight. So they will have a 30-minute bout, non-title bout. They are all in contention for the world's championship. But there will be several occasions now with this new format that Hodge may not be defending the world junior heavyweight title. And the masked man can compete with anybody. He held a DQ win over Harley Race not too long ago. So this will be a 30-minute time limit bout. And the junior heavyweight title is not at stake. In fact, you see there that Mr. Wrestling 2 is 6-0-2. So he has gone 8 straight matches without a loss. And Hodge has gone 10 matches straight without a loss. He lost his debut to Harley Race in the early weeks of RCW. So on we go with this bout. It is non-title, but an intriguing bout nonetheless. And I think both men will abscond with niceties and just go balls to the wall here. Oh, a chair shot to the head by Hodge. That will not endear himself to the Eastern faithful here of RCW. $1 million knee countered by Hodge. Hodge just a little too quick. And even though this is a non-title bout, if 2 gets a draw here, well, that'll increase his standing. Oh, a leg injury now. A leg injury. Yeah, he landed awkwardly on his knee. So on we go. Sorry, folks, for the pause. I was just thinking something out. Down to the waning moments of this one. It's about even. Hodge with a little lead. Armbar by Mr. Wrestling 2, but he's hobbling on that bad knee. Abdominal stretch? No. It's just a testament to how good Mr. Wrestling 2 is. Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to go to a draw. And it did. Okay, 30-minute draw between these two. A pretty good bout, but you wonder if two injuring his knee hurt his chances to win the bout. So two will have to wrestle injured next week against whoever it is he faces. We're going to take a break and get set up for our Eastern Tag Title bout right after this. You're watching Retro Championship Wrestling on the Big Paulie's World of Sports Sims YouTube channel. So let's work through everything that has changed. We have had our last single bout of the day, so let's show you. Nick Bonkwinkle is the only grappler in the simple rating system with positive territory. Think of that as if a baseball player, hitter, had a OPS greater than 1. So Nick Bonkwinkle is just way ahead of everybody with that positive 0.02. So we're going to go down here and look at everybody else. Everybody else has a negative rating. And we have Abdul the Butcher, One Man Gang. Boris Malenko has now moved up to the number 3 in terms of the actual ratings. Rock is 4. Fez is the closest champion at 15th at 0.197. Harley Race right behind him at 214. Steve Austin's at minus 325. Everybody in the dark purple are the world champions. Bruno Sammartino, Danny Hodge. Hodge is the world junior, and Sammartino the world's brass knuckle champion. Everybody in green is currently in the tournament. So Kimura is ahead of Takada. Everybody in the lighter kind of lavender is not in the tournament. You got Paul Jones, George Kidd. They will meet tomorrow in a 30-minute non-title bout. And down at the bottom is Medico Assassino and Wahoo McDaniel. Let's also show you the single contenders grid, which is filling up a bit now. So with the win by Boris Malenko, he will be at 2 points, and he will be the second down with 2 points. So he will get the world's title shot. We have had it fill up here. Harley Race with 2 points for the win, and Dusty Rhodes 2 points. Velasquez 2 points. And you see here, Mr. Wrestling 2 and Danny Hodge had their draw. So on to feature time, as Gorilla Monsoon used to say. We are going to have our Eastern tag title bout. And oh, look who's in the corner of the Blackjack. It's Captain Luis Albano. He briefly managed the Kangaroos after they won the World's Tag Team Championship a few weeks ago, but then they quickly lost it back again to the Rock and Roll Express. I just can't help but looking at that AI photo of me. If I'm doing legitimate sports in that photo and I'm doing wrestling, does that make me Joe Tessitore? Well, anyway, folks, I wouldn't mind having Joe's bank account. On with this bout, the heel tag team that they are facing is Ray Bucanero and Ultimo Guerrero from Japan, not Japan, but Lucha Country. They are 2-1-0. They started off with 2 wins, and then they just lost to the Flying Scots, and they draw an enviable task of trying to unseat the Eastern Tag Team title holders who just beat Adrian Adonis and Ron Starr. They drew with the British Bulldogs, and they also beat in out west Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen. So this is one fall, 60 minutes, and this will decide who holds the Eastern Tag Championships going into next week. Bucanero and Guerrero need a pinfall or a submission. We have a cut already in this bout. It is Mulligan who is cut. Blackjack Mulligan. Of course, Albano was the Manager of many tag team champions in the WWF, something in the neighborhood of like 16, 17 of them. Illegal punches, no pin attempt on the luchadors. Body slam, no pin. This is a pretty wild bout, folks, but you would expect that with two heel teams. And let me just double check, make sure I'm recording. I am. I would have a lot of pieces to put together. I accidentally reacquired Power Director, so I'm not getting rid of that. Oh, and let's see here. Lanza is cut now. So the champs are in trouble. They're facing a more mobile and a more lethal team in Rey Bucanero and Ultimo Guerrero. Another pin try. Nope. And the challengers have opened up a huge lead now of 200 points. But remember, the match cannot be stopped on cuts. We keep going. Pile driver by the Blackjacks. Almost got the pin. And they're making a comeback now. Series of punches by Blackjack Mulligan. 17 minutes gone by. 60-minute time limit. Body slam to the mat. Nope. Body slam again by the Blackjacks. Tries to get a pin, but nothing doing. Oh, we have a pin. We have a flash pin here. As Bucanero was pinned after being sent face first into the top turnbuckle by Blackjack Lanza. So there you go, folks. 5-star bout. So it's a win for the Blackjacks. To retain the titles, they will move up. And they did come back, and they did hold the damage lead. So there you go, folks. Our bouts are now complete. And let me come on and tell you that tomorrow we're going to have two baseball games, one from the Time Travel League, and then we are going to debut the America 250 Super Season with a game. And we look forward to bringing both of those projects to you tomorrow. And until then, at 2:41 on June 2nd, 2026, this has been Big Polly. Godspeed and God bless. We'll do it all again soon. Bye-bye for now, everybody.